Thanks for the cheesecake, Mom. Ricky loved it like always. I'm glad. That child deserves all the love in this world, and so do you. I'm proud of you, Kathy. Becky and John would be proud too. They know what you're doing for them. I chose to be Ricky's godmother when she was born. Of course, I wouldn't have left her behind. You can still ask for help once in a while. She is just 4. It's hard taking care of a child when you have a full-time job. I will. But first, I think I should spend more time with her if she's going to live with me. I want to make her feel comfortable and safe. She has just lost her parents. It must be hard for her, too. Yeah, if Ricky were okay with me, I'd have gladly raised her. But it seems like she wants to live with you. Are you upset that she refused to stay the night today? Not really. I mean, I am a little. But she needs her space, too. Just because she is a child doesn't really mean she doesn't understand what's happening. And she has always been smart, just like her father. Catches up on things really quickly. That she does. Mom, are you crying? You remember how Becky would often run to your dad every time I try to feed her broccoli? Ricky hates broccoli too. I wanted to feed it to her, but she ran to you in a minute. I got a glimpse of the past when I saw that. She was a strong girl, and so very talented. Loved everyone with her whole heart, and never complained about life, no matter how many curveballs were thrown at her. That she was. She was amazing. Are you doing okay, Kathy? I know you tend not to show your emotions, but let them out this time. You don't always need to play the robust, unfazed woman, honey. If I cry, who's going to look after Ricky? I can't take that chance. It's okay. I'm sure Ricky doesn't want you to suffer too. And if you keep suppressing them, they might just burst out. It can have repercussions, especially for that child. Take care of it, will you? And yourself as well. I'll keep that in mind, Mom. Thanks. I'm proud of you, really. Ricky is in good hands. Don't doubt yourself too much, okay? I don't know. I'm trying not to, but sometimes I feel like Ricky would not like me taking care of her. That she'd think I'm replacing her parents with me. She would never think that, Kathy. Even though she is just a child, you know how compassionate she is. And she knows how much love you have for her as well. Yeah, take some rest, okay? You too. Love you, Mom. Love you too, my child. We just lost Becky and her husband, John, in a car accident 2 months ago. Ricky, their 4-year-old daughter, was left behind all alone in this world. The 3 were a beautiful family together, but suddenly, one day, it was all gone. Becky was my younger sister, 2 years younger than me, and while I never was the marriage type, she found happiness in her university boyfriend, John, and married him at the age of 23. They had a fantastic run for 8 years, and honestly, their relationship made me envious. Being a pessimist who gave up on love a long time ago, I had never seen 2 people love each other as much as them. And while I felt devastated at the news of their passing, a part of me was relieved that they were together at least. However, for Ricky, it wasn't the case. For the first 3 weeks, she was living with her mom and dad. But one day, she just told them that she wanted to live with me. We have always had a close bond ever since she was born. I loved spoiling her, and she loved my company. And when my mom told me about her decision, I agreed in a heartbeat. However, it is not easy to start a completely new life alone with her. I have many doubts about myself and keep thinking, what if I fail her someday? I am not the best mother figure in this world, and considering my ice-cold personality, I just don't want it to backfire or affect Ricky in any manner. I want to give her all the love in this world, but sometimes I wonder if I alone will be enough. 2 weeks later. Kathy, I want you to meet this guy just this once. Please. He's a fantastic dude. Just give him a chance. Can you stop setting me up with strange, airy... I'm not dating people. You're just 30, and love can still find you. But you have to give yourself a push, too. No thanks. And I have Ricky to take care of now. This is all bullshit to me, anyway. 6 years. You have not properly dated a guy in 6 years. What the hell? Listen, I admire you for how strong and independent you are, but come on. I see the loneliness in your eyes. I'll be just fine. Thanks for the offer, though. Why are you punishing yourself like this? Do you really think you don't deserve happiness or love? Is it because of that cheater who told you all those horrendous things years ago? Maybe, maybe not. I don't know. But I have moved on, and life is good, at least according to my definition. I'm just not made for love, that's all. You are made for love, Kathy, and you know I'm not wrong. There was a time when you were stepping out of your shell, and I got a call from Becky telling me about the mystery man you met. But then, you loved him, ghosted him because you were scared. It was just a one-night stand. Nothing big about it. I've had countless encounters like that. But that one was special. You told Becky about him. She knew you better than anyone, and when she told me about it, I knew it was more than just a fling. She was worried for you. All your life, you have just given your best, even when people call you names behind your back. Just for once, if you choose happiness for yourself, it won't cost you anything. Right now, my priority is Ricky. I know you are worried for me, Erica, but I promise I'll be happy. I'm glad. Call me when you want to talk and let it out. Yeah, thanks. My dating life was dead after I broke up with my ex 6 years ago. We were engaged then, but he cheated on me with my colleague. I was devastated, and the reason he gave me was that I never made him feel loved enough. Since then, I have strayed away from this ordeal and focused only on my career. But 3 years ago, I met a man. We both were drunk and spent a night together. But it was the way he touched me and said things to me that brought back emotions I thought I could no longer feel. In my drunken state, I laid bare in front of him, and so did he. He made me feel special. A stranger did that. But the following day, I ran away, thinking it would not lead to anything. Surprisingly, a few months later, that man tried to contact me, but I shut him down, ghosted him entirely. The worst part was that, except for the long scar on his wrist, I don't remember his face or his name. In fact, since then, whenever I had one-night stands, a part of me secretly wished to meet him again. However, one day, it did happen, when I was told that John's best friend was coming back to NYC and would like to meet me. A week later. Hey, Catherine. Ross here. We met at John and Becky's wedding. Yeah, John's mom told me you were back here for some family business. I'm sorry I had to cancel yesterday's plan. Something urgent came up. It's okay. I was looking for you at the funeral as well, but it never happened. I'm sorry for your loss. It's okay. You also lost your best friend. I'm sorry. It's okay. I'm glad that at least they are together. They were inseparable from the beginning. They were. How's Ricky doing? I heard she's living with you. Yeah, she is good. John used to tell me how Ricky loved to cling to you and how much you adore her. Yeah, she's a sweet girl. I was generally out because of work, but on the rare occasions I met her, I realized how much she looks a lot like both her parents. You can still meet her. How long do you plan on staying here? At most, a month, but I'll give her a visit. Sure. And about our meetup, how about we meet today?
Yeah, sure. Are you free?
Yeah, there's a cafe nearby my office. I'll share the location with you.
I'll be there by 5 if that's okay.
Sure. I had met Ross a few times before, but never really had a chance to sit down and talk to him. This time, however, I finally got to know him a little more. He was exactly how Becky told me, polite but charming, and with a mischievous aura, though he was lovely to me. We talked for an hour or so and decided to stay in contact. While he was leaving, I noticed his physique and how good he looked in winter clothing. For a second, I felt distracted by a different subject, but caught myself back. He noticed it, but stayed silent, which was a relief. After coming back home, I spent more time with Ricky before she went off to bed. Erica then called me, and I told her what happened today. She sounded like she was on cloud 9. "So, how was Ross?" she shrieked enthusiastically. I rolled my eyes. "It was a normal meetup, nothing special. Is this the sign, my friend? Maybe he's the one." "No, he isn't. Please, shut up. But did he make you feel something?" I paused for a second before replying. "Actually, there is something." "What is it? What is it?" "Never mind." Erica was not happy with how I dropped the conversation, but I needed to make sure myself first. Ross started to visit Ricky more often after our first meetup. She loved him. I could tell from how she played with him and asked him to stay the night. I enjoyed his company too. He was different, worked as a video game developer, and was very passionate about life. Our interests didn't match most of the time, but we often listened to each other. I was the stoic lady, and he was like the free wind. So different from me, yet I felt a sense of serendipity in his presence. As days went by, my attraction towards him only grew. And one day, I noticed a scar that looked uncannily familiar, like the one I had seen 3 years ago. He noticed, too, that I saw it, but remained silent. He seemed reluctant as well. However, I didn't dare ask him this to his face. 3 weeks later.
I may be wrong, but today it seemed like you had something to say to me.
Not really. Why?
You saw the scar today, didn't you? On my wrist?
Yeah, and that got me a little curious, but I didn't know how to bring that up.
It was from an accident when I was in middle school. I lost my little cousin's brother in it.
I'm sorry to hear that.
It's okay.
Can I say something stupid?
Yes, go ahead.
I think I've seen that scar before. And the story, too. I felt like I've heard it as well.
You have seen it. 3 years ago. We met in a pub in NYC and got drunk together. You told me about your ex, and I told you about this. You left the following day without telling me anything, and I had to catch a flight that day, too. I recognized you even though I was crazy drunk, but it seemed like you didn't. I tried reaching out to you after getting your number from John, but you never picked up.
John knew?
No, I never told anyone about this. It would have complicated things. I really liked you then, but I guess it wasn't meant to work out. Moreover, I live far away, so yeah. But I wanted to give it a shot. Never mind. At least we are good friends now. I'm glad I got to meet you again, and you're a fantastic person. Don't put yourself down as you did back then. I feel weird saying all this. I'm sorry. I got overboard.
It's fine. Thank you for cheering me up. Like then. At least now I know who the mystery man is. I hope this won't make things awkward between us.
No way. It won't happen. And I plan to visit Ricky a few more times before leaving for Sydney.
When are you going?
Next Saturday.
How's your father?
He's doing better. He was feeling bad for holding back his son. I can't believe him sometimes, seriously.
And now that Ricky is living with me, she is more worried about me.
You're doing great raising her.
Thanks. She will miss you once you leave.
I will too. I will be back tomorrow. I hope I'm not bothering you too much, though.
You've been a great help, Ross. Thanks for everything.
My pleasure. Okay, I'll leave you now. Get some good rest.
You too. Good night.
Night.
That conversation pretty much left me with a heavy heart. I was not expecting our relationship to go anywhere, but maybe a part of me looked forward to that dreamy, unrealistic future. Good thing nothing ever turned serious between us. I always knew we could never have a future together anyway. So, why was I feeling down? The next day I told Erica about this, and she was shocked. But when I told her how he seemed to have given up on the idea of us, she understood. Ultimately, she just told me to enjoy the last few days with him to the fullest. And this time, instead of my rational mind, I listened to my dumb heart. The last few days went by normally, though no one acted on it. The tension between Ross and me was visible. We took Ricky to the amusement park and enjoyed it a lot. Some passerby even pointed out how beautiful of a family we are. It was embarrassing, but still made my heart race. When he dropped us back home, Ricky was already asleep. He carried her to her room and tucked her into her bed. I offered him some coffee after, and we talked a little more. Somehow, I wished for time to stop then. It was a foolish wish to begin with. Once he was about to leave, I gave him a brief hug as a thankful gesture. But when our eyes met, something clicked in me. Without even realizing it, I leaned in for a kiss, and he didn't dodge me. It was a beautiful moment, a fleeting one that I knew would not last long. An awkward silence fell between us before he finally decided to leave. I realized then I had made a mistake. Ross never contacted me after that. It was painful, but I kept going. He was about to leave in 2 days anyway, so it was expected. Ricky kept asking me where he was, and I told her he must have left for work by now. A week went by just like that. But then, I finally received a text from him.
At the office?
Hey, yeah, why?
I'm sorry for leaving like that. I don't know what came over me.
It's fine. You have your work.
Yeah, but I realized something.
What?
You were always special, since the very first time I laid my eyes on you. The day you laid yourself bare before me, I knew I was stuck there. I couldn't forget you, and yet I didn't know how else to approach you. But time brought me to you again, and this time I will reach my hand out to you.
Suddenly, I see him calling. Hey, what's the matter? Where are you? I asked, puzzled by his statement. He was panting as if he had just run a mile.
Last time you ran away. This time I did.
What?
I thought this wouldn't work out, but the more I spent time with you, the more I wanted to stay with you.
Ross, I don't understand what you're saying.
I'm saying I'm in love with you, and I see a future with you. So, please, let me take care of you and Ricky.
Huh?
I'm outside your office. If your answer is yes, can you please come out?
I felt my body freeze then, but my stomach was doing gymnastics. He was here. All my life, I deemed myself undeserving of love. I got used to living with this loneliness, but never had anyone ever made me feel such happiness. In an instant, I find myself running out into the corridors, and then to the main entrance door. He was there, with his sparkling blue eyes and his silly smile that made me giggle like a child. I jumped into his arms then, kissed him with a newfound love in my chest, and held him tight. He returned every gesture of mine, and we stayed like that for I don't know how long. 30 years of my life, I had never believed in any superstitions. But today, it felt like Becky and John had sent him to Ricky and me. We felt complete, and I promised to love and cherish the new world I was now blessed with.